Hello guys, R2F here with another weekly market analysis. So I thought this week I'll just keep it short and simple. I'll focus around the dollar index and leave it up to you to analyze other forex pairs. I'll have a look at gold and oil and I guess Bitcoin as well. Besides that, yeah, I'll just be focusing on the dollar index. Okay, so I got some new chart colors that I thought were quite nice and I cleaned up the annotations. Okay, so again, I'll start on the 12 month, which is the yearly chart, and I'll show you. Um, I'll show you what I'm looking for. Okay, so price broke down. We created a breaker and a gap in here. Price went lower, came into the gap, went lower, and then it expanded into the gap, expanded into a higher CB up here. There's also one here, but I'm keeping it clean. Retrace from this premium PD array down to this discount premium array. We got a yearly BISI here. Price came down, came up again, created relative equal highs, came down again with bodies closing in there, 2020, 2021, and then we expand higher, creating more gaps. So we created a gap here, and now we seem to be expanding higher. So there's not enough information yet, and there's no trade to be really taken in this chart. If price did come to this yearly BC, then yeah, that'd be very interesting to take along higher. As it is the yearly chart, we would need some, you know, structure to form on the weekly or even the monthly, which may take time. So let's go down to the 6 month. All right, so okay, the 4 month, we have a 6 month gap here. You should be able to see it on the 6 month then. So price did come higher into the 6 month gap and then retrace lower. You can see there's a 6 month gap here, which price did not close above. Okay, the bodies tell the story, the wicks do the damage, and we have a larger 6 month gap in here. If you can see that whole thing being the 6 month. Okay, I'm just keeping the yearly here. So we have a breaker here, which consists of this wick as well. Price came down, and it seemed to me that it's possibly expanding up. Okay, so what I'm thinking is just based on this current price action on the dollar index is that we may take up the previous year's high either a bit or a bit more, maybe to more to the midway point. And then if we create a gap on lower time frames, then maybe move higher or possibly come back into this yearly gap on a larger structure in order to move higher. But that may take years to form. Okay. We're living in turbulent times, so anything can happen. Price can just spike up and yeah, not come down for a while or ever. So let's go down to the monthly, straight from the 6 month. Okay. As you can see, we have the whole monthly gap here as well, where price came into it. Premium. This was the 6 month down here. Just keeping note. Okay. This whole area was the 6 month, and price looks like it's going up. So we have this inversion gap here created, a balanced price range gap after coming back to a discount, mean threshold of this wick, then we start expanding up. So we seem to be disrespecting this SIBI at the moment. Okay, 1 month. That's why I put possible IF inversion fair value gap. I'm looking to see if price uses this as support to move higher. As in, yeah, so we came up, we came down, maybe move higher, more into this imbalance and possibly over here into this level as well. Okay, I call this the wick sandwich, where a wick is sandwiched between two bodies at a swing point. That's one of my models. And that would be at a premium level. So now we're at a discount with discount PD arrays. So in my opinion, there's a good possibility that we will move higher. So we can go have a look on the weekly, get more information. Okay, so we know we're in this monthly inversion fair value gap. I'm going to hide it on the weekly for now. Okay, this area. So what are we looking at here? We retrace into that monthly and we did not break that low. Okay, but we are respecting this order block here, as you can see. Price is not closing even into the actual down candle. And we seem to be creating more over here as well. So we had a bearish fair value gap. Let's look at it from the start, right? We created this bullish inversion fair value gap. Price came all the way to this area of supply, order block, whatever you want to call it. Came down, retraced, took out that high the previous week. At that point, I think people were thinking, okay, we're pretty bullish. We're going up. Inversion fair value gap. No, not yet. We did not take out that high, but I believe if you do go on to the dollar index futures chart, you will see that liquidity was taken in the form of piercing through that high. Yeah, go check it out yourself. So we had price come down, come up, then come down again. Deep in here, we came back up. We used this inversion fair value gap, BSC, as support, resistance. Came down. Remember, the body's not closing. Came up to this bearish fair value order block premium array. We break another low. So internal liquidity in the form of, let's say, this order block or fair value gap. External liquidity in the form of this swing low. And now we're expanding back up. It's interesting. So what could we expect? Price to come up. Use this as support again and then move higher. Okay. This is on the weekly chart. So this is how the week closed. Next week, we would be in this range. So let's have a look at the 2 weeks. Okay, no gap there. Yeah, so it's quite possibly within this range. We come down. If we highlight this wick, mean threshold, let's go look at the daily. Big pump on the daily, right? So no gaps created yet. If we do come down, they are relative equal lows, but if we do come down, maybe I'll be looking to find some support in here. But let's see what happens. Going down to the 12-hour. Yeah, we see a breaker here. We could possibly see it be used as support. And of course, we have the buy side liquidity created up here to eventually be taken. Okay, so that's my bias currently, that we come up into that area on the dollar index. You can see a nice breaker here as well on the weekly. So that's a good target. But I'm eyeing this retest of this 6-month CB at the very least as a target. So I would say target above this high. And stop loss, safest stop loss is over here. Okay, let me just adjust the colors, something a bit better. Yeah. This is what I'm looking at currently. If we do start moving higher, then I think a good stop would be here. But there's always a possibility that we stab down during some sort of news event as well. So let's just keep it in the safest part, which is here. And change the color again, but no worries, we saved it. So yeah, we have the previous year high here, previous year's high, previous year's low, Very nice. Let's move on. So just look for the inverse on things like Euro, USD, Pound USD, and look for something in the similar direction with USD, Swiss franc, yen, CAD. So let's go look at gold. Nothing on the 12-month besides price coming to this gap. Yeah, great. Great. We want something more current. So let's go to the monthly. Yeah, so we're at all-time highs. There's not much to say here besides expecting price to retrace. Go down to the weekly. Price came to this order block. Now expanding down. Because of the dollar. Ooh, yes. Very nice. Breaker with a gap. This is the unicorn setup. I mean, they one of the highest probability type of setups. Okay, so we get a CB here. Be 1 week, and let's label it. It's a unicorn as well. Got the weekly. Very nice trade there. Took out sell side, sell side. So where are we going here? I go back to the weekly and look for more gaps, right? What would I annotate? For one, weekly here, weekly order block. The order block. And of course, weekly gap. We came into this weekly gap here. So what do I want to see? I want to see price expand down. We come up, expand down, and then use that as resistance. But again, we're coming to an area that may be used as support, probably down here. So at this point, I want to catch a trade, right? So what trade do I want to catch? Easy peasy, alamana a squeeze. Wait for a retracement into this area. Okay. This is a daily breaker somewhere in here. If you want to get more refined, you can always go to the 8 hours. Nothing too much. Could even come all the way to this breaker. But on the daily, we have here and we have the order block up here. So somewhere in here would be a nice trade to find, I believe. Unless price is cheeky and stabs up one more time. Okay, safest stop would be here, somewhere around here. But you can be a bit more daring by having it here and targeting somewhere in here, perhaps. Okay, that's an example. Because I do not want to look for long just yet at the moment, especially in this sell model. Let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, yep, on the monthly, came into here also. No, not inversion, but the monthly gap, and it looks like it's expanding higher. On the weekly as well. Chop, 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 chop. Came all the way up. So we got daily gaps here. Using my new color scheme. Okay, so we got 2 daily gaps here. I'm just gonna write busy. No, CB 1 day. Busy 1 day. Okay. Could price come down all the way down here? Possibly. So we also had a bullish gap in here. I'm just going to highlight this now. So we had a confluence of 2 gaps, an inversion gap and a normal buy side fair value gap. So that's 2 things. Now we have these equal highs here in the form of liquidity above there as well. Okay. A bit thinner. Okay. Yeah, so above here. Closest one above here. So on the daily, nothing too much. Let's go to 12 hours. All right, so we got a big stab down. Where would we go from here? It is tough to say. At the moment, I'm looking for more gaps. We have a displacement down right into this gap, so we could just keep going up from here despite this displacement. small quick manipulation as you often do on Bitcoin. And or we could come all the way down here. If you plot the discount and the premium of this range, we could come into a discount before moving higher. So those are two possibilities. On the 8 hours, yes, we have this gap here. Likely we come into that, close quite low. So quite possibly we move into the gap and then make more lows. Although we did come into this gap here. So yeah, nothing is solid at the moment. There are arguments for both a bullish and bearish bias. So that being said, I'm not going to guess. I'm going to wait for something more concrete. Wait for some manipulation to possibly take place or new gaps to form my analysis on a higher time frame as well. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this week's market analysis. I believe next week or this coming week we'll see more information. Let's see how this forms. Relative equal lows here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we came down again before going up. However, it's not required, and we could just move up from here, finding support somewhere at this breaker and targeting these highs. So till next time, R2F signing out.